Hey, welcome to Found Twin Cities, where I feature great places in Minneapolis and St. Paul and show them in then and now photographs. Today I am going to focus on my very own living room, and that's because I have a photograph that was given to me by someone whose grandparents actually lived in this house. When I looked at it, it's a very charming photograph, as you can see. I have not been able to date this photograph exactly. Part of me thinks it might be in the 40s or 50s, and part of me thinks it might be later. I really don't know for sure. But what I'm going to try and do is recreate this photo with what our living room looks like today. So first we take a look at the original photo and kind of try and pick out what elements we want to make sure get in there. A couple are obvious. Obviously the post on the side, we don't have the post anymore, but the surface where the post used to be right there. The radiator, I'm looking at that. That's a something that we can actually make sure, I mean, it's still in the same place, so we can make sure and frame that. The window, which has the leaded glass at the top, and we can kind of see almost the ceiling line there at the very top of that image. We can see, let's see, we can kind of see that it's a late afternoon, so we're taking our picture in the late afternoon. I do love that there's a piano there and there's a piano there now. We were told that the original family had 7 children, two of the sisters lived in the house into the early 70s, and one of them taught piano in this room. And it's so great that there's that bit of continuity between then and now. Oh, and note at the top there, you can see the lighting fixture, and that lighting fixture probably hangs down farther than the ceiling fan that we have there now. But it might be worth trying to get a little bit of that in. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to frame it up so that I can actually see the exact same view and compare then and now. One thing to note, because I don't have a date on this photograph, I'm looking at the furniture and I'm seeing that chair, the padded chair next to the radiator, and I'm thinking, okay, that does not look early 20th century. That looks mid-20th century, maybe even, I don't think that's a 40s chair. I think that's more like a 50s or a 60s chair. So we're going to go with a timing that's probably around 1960, maybe. That's just a guess. Oh, other thing I will note, the room begs for a rug, and I will admit that for a long time we had a rug in that room that looked just like that, and we upgraded it at some point, just kind of thinking, well, let's have something a little more modern. So you'll see that we have a different kind of rug. So now let's go and see what we can do to recreate this photo and show you what now looks like. That was then, and let's go for now. So before we take the photo, let's just do a quick tour of the room as it is now. Obviously the leaded glass is still there, the radiator is still there, the posts are not. I've lived here for 30 years. Those posts have never been there. Where one of those chairs was, we have a little table now, so this chair is probably pushed out a little bit farther into the middle than the other chair was, but it's close. The space where the grandfather and grandmother were hanging are not utilized right now, but we do have actual photos of grandparents up here not that far. This, of course, would be the corner where the piano was. We have a bookcase and some instruments. Over here, where those other photos were, we have my collection of baseballs. These are just souvenir baseballs from the ballparks I've been to. Here is about where we're going to want to take the picture from, kind of about here. I'll see if I can do it on my phone, but I may end up needing to bring out the big guns here to get something that we can actually use. This is a Samsung S22. And we're going to see if I can duplicate it. Now, with a little bit of experimentation, I tried taking a picture from here. That's Scout, by the way. Hi, Scout. He's going to have a little bit of fun with the catnip toy right there. All right, I tried from right about here, and the depth is just all wrong in the photograph. So I realized that somebody may have been taking from this position or close to it, but they didn't. That was a completely different camera and a completely different lens configuration, everything like that. So that doesn't really duplicate it very well. So here's what I decided to do. I decided to move all the way back and see if zooming in, I can get the photograph that I want or something close to it. And so here I am zooming in, and truth of the matter is I have to get as low to the table as possible to try and make it work, and I still am a little bit off because I want to show, you can see in that other picture that there's a little bit of the light fixture in there. So that, I think, is the view right there. So let's check that out. So I think I may have to try, I'm going to try something a little bit more sophisticated here. But I'm not optimistic about this because once again, I cannot recreate the depth. Also, because I'm trying to recapture the time of day, the late afternoon sun, I'm kind of dealing with really long exposures, which is going to be hard to not get blurry. I'm also dealing with a cat who's right here. I think I'm about where the person was. Oh, that's going to be super blurry. All right, let's take a couple of That's going to be pretty good. All right, let's take a look at those. Now I look at these two images, and I think we're about as close as I'm going to get. I think that's about as close. You can kind of see that the post at the left actually hides the doorway, that double doorway with the pocket doors. So you would, in the original, if the post were not there in the original image, you would see that. You can also see that the arm of the chair at right is actually almost in exactly the same spot. I can tell from this that I'm a little bit low. I'm a little bit low in my angle. I may have to go down and shoot another one just to see. Well, I can't find the holes that were up there holding up the pictures of the grandparents. They're probably there, but maybe they got spackled over at some point. I don't see any sign of them. But I know they were there. You know, as I try and do this, first of all, I realized that I need to learn. I need to get better. I didn't quite get the same angle. I didn't quite get the same distance, the focal distance. I didn't quite get the conditions exactly right. I kind of got close. So there's a chance for me to learn. But the more important thing is that here we are, stewards of a time and a place. And this time and place used to belong to somebody else. Someday it'll probably belong to somebody else. It's something we occupy now and have a responsibility to pass forward to what comes later. And that's what I want to celebrate on this channel. Basically looking at the great spaces, great places in the Twin Cities, things that we have pictures of that we can duplicate today, and who knows, anticipate what will come tomorrow. Actually, we probably can't anticipate what will come tomorrow. We just know that it's our role to occupy this space and pass it on to those who will come after us. I feel like the Carl Baum family who built this house is still here in some meaningful way. I don't exactly know how it works, but and I figured that we were there at that time too. I don't know. Is it true? I don't know. Anyway, I want to thank you for joining me on this inaugural video on the Found Twin Cities channel. This is what the information that I hope to, this is what I hope to cover. So if you like this content, please take a moment and let's see, subscribe and ring the bell and and comment. I love the comments, and I sure appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. My name is Rick Prescott, and this is Found Twin Cities. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.